Saturday, the 28th of September, 3 p.m, Chelsea host Brighton and Hove at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League, and we need to get this over the line. I firmly believe that Chelsea can get the 3 points at Stamford Bridge this Saturday against Brighton, even though in the last few years the Brighton-Chelsea games have become somewhat of a rivalry because Chelsea bought everything to do with Brighton. We might as well have taken the seats out of the stadium and the sign on the stadium at one point. We were buying everyone, whether it's coaching staff, players, managers, you name it. It's a bit of a grudge match between Chelsea and Brighton. Let's face it. Now, with our incredible run of form right now, with all of the games in all competitions, I genuinely believe that Chelsea can get the 3 points at Stamford Bridge this Saturday. And that's only if we have the right tactics, have the right setup, and have the right mentality. We are currently in the middle of a run of games at Stamford Bridge, and it would be incredible if Chelsea can continue this run of form across those home games going into the international break, because after that, we have a very tough run of games. So in today's video, I'll be going over the predicted 11 for the Chelsea-Brighton game, who I think Enzo Marasca is going to select in different positions and why, and also giving my opinions as to why I think they should play, and if there's any players that I think should start ahead of others. And if you are new around here, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and turn on notifications so you get notified every single time we upload a video talking Chelsea. Let's get into this predicted 11. Starting off with a goalkeeper, I have selected Robert Sanchez because that guy in his current run of form could do no wrong, and hopefully that continues against Brighton at Stamford Bridge. He's been making some great saves, he's been saving penalties, his distribution's been great. Let's hope we can keep yet another clean sheet, this time at home rather than away, and keep a clean sheet, make some good saves, and do nothing stupid. Moving on to left back, I have chosen Marc Cucurella. He is Chelsea's #1 left back. Let's not get it twisted. This guy is still in a good run of form, and in my opinion, showing that price tag that Chelsea paid for him them years ago when he was at Brighton. He has really developed into Chelsea's #1 left back. He works very well under Enzo Marasca's system. We saw sort of the insights of that in the last 6 or 7 games under Maurizio Pochettino. He likes to invert. He's comfortable doing that. And Enzo Marasca's had him inverting and also making them overlapping runs with the left winger. So Marc Cucurella at left back. Moving on to left centre-back, we're going with Levi Colwill. Now, this guy's form has been going under the radar for recent weeks. He's been getting better and better, and no one has really noticed. Obviously, Chelsea fans, we have noticed, but the outer footballing world hasn't really appreciated Levi Colwill. His line-breaking passes are great. He's being solid at the back. He's demanding in the air, and he's been good on the ball. So we're going with Levi Colwill, left centre-back. Moving on to the right centre-back, I have actually chosen Tosin, and that is because when Tosin and Colwill played in our previous game, they were a brick wall at the back. What a partnership I think that can develop into. Now, I know that Enzo Marasca prefers Levi Colwill and Wesley Fofana. I'm making this video before the last press conference. Now, the last we saw of Wesley Fofana, he had his knee wrapped up at the end of the game, and it was precautionary to make sure, he stays fit, and, they'll ease him in and make sure we can manage his minutes. Purely on that basis and not having any updates as of recording this video, I'm going to go with Tosin because I really like that Colwill-Tosin partnership and I think it can blossom into something amazing. Moving on to right back, we're obviously going to have Malo Gusto because Malo Gusto is fit, ready and available. That game against Barrow, the first half he played was more of a fitness test for him to make sure he was ready to get some minutes under his belt. I'm glad that he was taken off at halftime and eased into the game. So now we can have him prepared and fresh and ready for Brighton. We have missed having Malo Gusto at right back. Moving on to the left side of that double pivot, I've chosen Moises Caicedo. This man could do no wrong. Again, a great player in fantastic form, and in recent weeks has really been performing like the £115 million player that we paid for. I love Moises Caicedo, and I've made in recent videos on my TikTok and on my YouTube channel that I do prefer Lavia because Lavia is such a baller when it comes to ball distribution, but it's so hard to try and fit Lavia in. I know he's been injured recently, but Moises Caicedo has been absolutely outstanding, and long may his form continue. Be a tough game playing against his former club, but I'm hoping that he can kind of showcase that he's a Chelsea player now, performing at a very high standard. So let's just go with Moises Caicedo. Partnering him in the right side of that double pivot, I have chosen Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Marasca likes Enzo Fernandez as a deep-lying playmaker. And if I'm being honest, I think that's where Enzo Fernandez's best position is, slightly deeper, has more time on the ball. He can help with the dirty work. His main job is not to be a defensive midfielder, but he can help partner up with Caicedo, or Caicedo can come across and help Enzo Fernandez have a solid midfield. And when this duo is working well, we run midfields. You look at the West Ham game. we completely dominated. And yes, you can say that West Ham obviously didn't turn up. That's fair enough. But it's not just all one-sided. Chelsea also played a phenomenal game. We ran that midfield, and it was mainly due to Caicedo and Enzo. Now, I will say that Caicedo made he got an assist. He made some very good forward passes. And even though it's Enzo Fernandez's main sort of duty, getting on the ball and pushing the ball forward into the final third, I feel that he does that incredibly well, and he's also coming into a good run of form in a Chelsea shirt. Moving on to the left wing, I have chosen Jadon Sancho. I know that Mykhailo Mudryk played well against Barrow midweek, and he did get himself an assist. I still feel there is a long way to go for him to get into this first team. He may get some minutes in the second half, but I feel like Jadon Sancho, as long as he is fit and raring to go, he will start on that left-hand side, and what a player Jadon Sancho has been so far in a Chelsea shirt. 2 assists in 2 games. Long may that run of form continue. He just looks like every time he gets the ball, something's going to happen. Very direct, very technical on the ball. I'm always making the right pass. Perfect for Enzo Marasca's system. Glad we signed him. Absolute steal. Man United fans are crying about it, and rightfully so, because he is a gem of a player. Moving into that number 10 position, I've chosen Mr. Cole Palmer. For obvious reasons, Enzo Marasca wants to play him as a 10. He come out in press conferences and said, this is the positions. Cole Palmer and João Felix are competing for that number 10 role. João Felix had an incredible game against Barrow. Again, I know there's a disparity in opposition, but João Felix was basically dunking on him. Little chips over for assists, little flip-flaps and nutmegs. He's a quality player, and I want to see him get more minutes, but Cole Palmer is Chelsea's best player. It's as simple as that. And we need him in that midfield. I do feel like a lot of teams, I've said this and I'll keep saying this, a lot of teams are going to block off that central area in their defensive side of the field, which is going to make things incredibly difficult for Cole Palmer. However, he is such a good player that he finds his way out of these things. I said that against West Ham. He still broke out of that and scored a peach of a goal set up lovely by Nicholas Jackson. But the way Nicholas Jackson and Cole Palmer are playing right now, we have to have those two in. Cole Palmer in the 10 role. Has to be. Moving on to the right wing position, I have chosen Pedro Neto. Now, I know a lot of people really like Noni Madueke. I am a fan of Noni Madueke. However, don't hold me to this, but I'm pretty sure that Noni Madueke has played more minutes than anyone or has had less rotation than anyone. Marasca did clarify again in his press conference when he was talking about positions. On that right-hand side, it will be Pedro Neto and Noni Madueke fighting for that right wing spot. In recent games, Madueke hasn't been bad by any stretch of the imagination, but he's not been on that red-hot form since that hat-trick at Wolves. And I feel like we can start Pedro Neto on that right-hand side, have Jadon Sancho on the left, and Pedro Neto on the right. It's just a frightening pair of wingers to be attacking our opposition wing-backs, or full-backs. I've gone for Pedro Neto. I believe Noni Madueke will definitely get minutes. And hey, he might even start. Enzo Marasca might prefer him to Pedro Neto, but for me, it's going to be Pedro Neto to Noni Madueke to come on in the second half or with half an hour to go. And that leaves the Chelsea number 9, who will lead the line for Chelsea at home against Brighton this Saturday at 3 p.m. I have chosen Nicholas Jackson. Now, I said in a previous video that how nice does it feel that we've got 2 number 9s competing with each other on a very active basis. It's very hard to keep Nkunku out of the squad after he just scored a hat-trick against Barrow. But it's also very hard to keep Nicholas Jackson out of the squad, considering he scored 2 goals and got an assist against West Ham in the Premier League last Saturday. Stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. Now, I do believe that Nicholas Jackson will start, but I also believe that Nkunku will get some minutes. I think it might be an evenly split match for the pair of them because they're both in red-hot form. Long may it continue. It's been a long time. I can't actually remember the last time we had 2 number 9s competing with each other on a consistent basis, game by game, scoring goals. And it's so nice to have. So that is my predicted 11 for the Brighton game, Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff in the Premier League. I am very much looking forward to it. This week has been awesome with the West Ham game, the Barrow game being wins and being dominant performances. I am praying that we can bring that across to the Brighton game and continue this domination until at least the international break, because what a run of form that would be. We're not typically the best team to come back after international break, and I know that's the same for a lot of people, but the first game back from international break is away to Liverpool. So I'm hoping we can secure as many points as we can up until the international break to make sure we've got a bit of a buffer. Be interesting to see what happens across the Premier League this weekend. But I think Chelsea can get the 3 points. maybe I'm being deluded. I don't know. With our current run of form, Brighton have been cooking. Let's not take anything away from them. They have been cooking. But I just think that in our current run of form with the players we've got and the way that we've been playing, it has to be a Chelsea dub. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with my predicted 11? Would you have different players playing in different positions? Let me know in the comments. I love having a conversation with you guys and I'm interested to know who you would play instead. As always, if you are new around here, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and turn on the notification bell so you get notified every single time I upload a video talking Chelsea. And at this stage of the video, there is a thumbnail on the screen. So if you do enjoy Chelsea content, make sure you click that thumbnail because you will enjoy that video too.